but it's just about writing what you like.
Yeah.
And not really worrying about what the end result will be. It's when you go into a room or you listen back to it and go, do you really like that? And if the answer is yes, then that's fine. I mean, you know, if I'm going to write something, generally I make rock music. That's kind of what I do. So it's kind of going to end up that way anyhow. But there's definitely no restrictions that go on the writing. It's just, is it a good song and do you really like it and you want to, you know, put it out there, and that's the only real thing. You know, genres, you know, at the end of the day, you know, people will put their own thought processes into what they feel the genre is, and they'll put a label on it, but you leave that to other people to do that. It started quite some time ago, actually, like a really long time ago, and it's something that's kind of just been worked on. A lot of the songs have had a few different sort of iterations as they've sort of come to fruition, and I think that's been actually quite a nice thing, to just be able to work on something that doesn't really have any pressure to it. Yeah. You're not trying to get anything out of it other than to have other people hear it. That's all we've really wanted. It's really just a statement of intent. It's quite heavy. It's got a bit of melody in it. I don't think it's the best song on the album, just so you know, and I mean that in a good way. I'm not trying to diss the song at all. I think the song's great, but it's not the best song on the album, so I'm really excited to hear what else comes out. But you know, it gives a good indication of who we are and what we do. The next single is fucking huge. Yeah, it's really, I mean, the next single, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
And then there's another track on the record that is probably what I might call my personal favourite, Staring at the Sun, which is, but that's because I'm like you know, it's really heavy again, but just not in a sort of thrashy way. It's quite groovy and heavy, which I quite like. I think the main difference is just that the amount of music that's now released, because, you know, so much is out there. I mean, I think I read somewhere there's like 40,000 new songs go on Spotify on it every day. I kind of liken that sort of mentality to like chucking a pound off the side of a mountain and then hoping that somebody just happens to walk past and find it, you know. And so it's a lot more difficult, I think, to not necessarily be heard so much, but to have people invest their time in you.
Yeah.
Because normally in the old days, you know, you can talk about the old days too much, but I'm well aware the industry's changed, so you know, that's just a fact. But in the old days, you went and bought your album or a couple of albums that came out that Monday or whatever, and then you go and you would take the time to listen to them. And if you didn't maybe like the song straight away, you'd listen to it again. Yeah. Whereas a lot, you know, because you'd probably just give it another chance. You'd be sitting there and you think, oh, maybe it's a grower, I'll give it another go. But these days it's generally, nah, move on. You know, there's still a lot of room, I think, in the rock world for sort of what you might call a traditional album. But in the pop world, you know, that's completely different. In terms of songwriting and the way the songs are written and arranged, it's all about complete immediacy. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think it's changed quite a lot, obviously. But I'm not against it now. I think it's just understanding that when you write and release music these days, that if you're intending to make money out of the actual sales of your albums, it's unlikely. I think just, you know, it's a social media age. So just make sure that you're on it with your socials. Make sure that you're, you know, communicating with your fans or potential fans. Don't look at everybody as a cash cow. You know, look at people that, you know, look at everything that someone that's interested in your music as like an ongoing relationship. And just treat people well, treat people kind. If you're going to go out and play shows, which hopefully you will do soon, you know, be that band that everyone just gets on with. And just don't be a dick, because no one cares about you later on, right? If your band doesn't make it or doesn't do very well, the only thing they'll remember from you is your music was, you know, what it was, good, bad, average, whatever. But they will remember that you're a bell end. So just be nice to people and just, you know, be cool. Doesn't matter what mood you're in, but just be cool. One thing is that yes, have your style, have your branding, have your image and what have you, but just don't let that be the be all and end all, because that isn't the be all and end all. Just don't be shit, be good, and know when you're shit and be honest about it. And that's the only thing I would say. You're going to be your own filter, but don't go in blindly thinking that everything you do is the best thing ever, because it absolutely isn't. And the amount of shit ideas that are on the cutting room floor of any band, including the bands I've been in, is hilarious. And also, if you're just trying to literally make those first steps, play shows, be shit, because you got to learn and you got to get good by learning. But don't necessarily present your music in an official way to like a record label or something like that without making sure that it's the best offering that it can be.